Hello, let's continue lecture 6 with point defects. In the previous video of lecture 6, I introduced the importance of defects and why we should study them. In this video of lecture 6, we will study point defects. The first point defect is vacancy, and this is the simplest of the point defects. And what vacancy means is that an item is missing from a lattice site, which is shown here in this position. Okay, so and you can see that from this side an item is missing, and this is nothing but the vacancy. All crystalline solids contain vacancies, and in fact it is not possible to create such a material that is free from vacancies. The necessity of the existence of vacancies is explained using principles of thermodynamics. So this is the result of vacancy, and this is the site from where the atom is missing, and because of this there is a distortion of planes. So this is a plane of atoms, and this is another neighboring plane of atoms, and this is the plane of atoms from which the atom is missing. Okay, as we can see here, as the atom is missing there is a strain. Okay, or there is a distortion of plane. So what will happen to the atoms adjacent to this site, or adjacent to the site from where atom is missing, or where there is a vacancy? The atoms will try to uh, move towards this vacant position, due to which there is a strain. Okay, there is a strain like this. So there will be a distortion in plane due to vacancy. Okay, so this is a horizontal plane. There is a distortion even in horizontal plane. Okay, so because of this distortion, there will be a strain inside the crystal structure. So vacancy, to summarize, a vacancy is simply a missing atom from a lattice site, and equilibrium number of vacancies for a given quantity of material can be found out using the following formula. Okay. In this formula, capital N is the total number of atomic sites per unit volume. QV is energy required for formation of vacancy. Capital T is the absolute temperature in Kelvin, and small k is the Boltzmann constant. So if you substitute those four values into this formula, then you can find out NV, or equivalent number of vacancies for a given quantity of material. Next type of point defect is interstitial, and in the interstitial is shown here in this picture, and as you can see that there is an atom in the place of the interatomic spacing. Okay, so just like here you can see that there is an interatomic spacing, okay, like this, and here like that. So there is a gap between atoms, and in this gap an item is crowded. Okay, an item is sitting into a gap. Okay, so this is not a lattice site. It is not lattice site. It's actually a gap. It's a spacing, and in that gap there is an extra item sitting. So this is known as interstitial. There are two types of interstitial: self interstitial and impurity interstitial. Self interstitial means that the atom of host material itself is sitting in the gap. In contrast, impurity interstitial means that a foreign item is sitting in the host material. Okay? So just like vacancy, there is also a distortion of planes in case of interstitial, and this is the place or this is the site of self-interstitial. So an extra atom has crowded into a space, a void or a gap between atoms, and because of this, as you can see, the planes or the neighboring planes have distorted. So this plane, for example, this plane, this plane. So all the neighboring planes touching the interstitial have been distorted. So this is the summary of self-interstitial. An atom from the crystal is crowded into an interstitial site, and this introduces a relatively large distortions because the size of the host atom is relatively greater than the interatomic spacing for the host material. And self-interstitial exists in very small concentrations as compared to vacancies. So this is second type of interstitial impurity, and this is sorry. The example of impurity interstitial is this orange atom or foreign atom. Actually, a foreign atom is crowded into the interatomic spacing of a host material. Okay. And there are two types of impurities. One is interstitial and second is substitutional. Okay, so in substitutional impurities, the foreign atom or atom of foreign element replaces or substitutes the atom of the host material. So there are two types of impurities, interstitial and substitutional. So this is the example of interstitial impurity atom, and this is the example of substitutional impurity atom. The interstitial impurity atom will result only if there is a significant difference between the sizes of the host atom and impurity atom. A pure metal consisting of only one type of atom is not possible. Impurity or foreign atoms will always be present, and some will exist as crystalline point defects. In fact, even with relatively sophisticated techniques, it is difficult to refine metals to purity up to 99.99%. At this level, on the order of 10 raised to 22 or 10 raised to 23 impurity atoms will be present in 1 cubic meter of material. Most familiar materials are not highly pure, rather, they are alloys in which impurity atoms have been added intentionally to impart specific characteristics to the material. Alloying is used in metals to improve mechanical strength and corrosion resistance. For example, sterling silver is 92.5% silver and 7.5% copper alloy. In normal ambient environments, pure silver is highly corrosion resistant but also very soft. Alloying with copper significantly enhances the mechanical strength without depreciating the corrosion resistance appreciably. So, the addition of impurity atoms to a metal will result in the formation of solid solution and or new second phase depending on kinds of impurity, their concentration and temperature of the alloy. So these are some terms used in relation to the solid solution, which are solvent and solute. Solvent is the element or compound that is present in the greatest amount, or solvent atoms are also known as host atoms. Solute is used to denote an element or compound present in minor concentrations. Solute solution forms when the solute atoms are added to the host material. The crystal structure is maintained and no new structures are formed. So solid solutions are compositionally homogeneous, and solid solutions are formed when there are impurities point defects such as substitutional and interstitial. In the previous slide, we saw that there are two types of solid solutions. One is substitutional solid solution, in which the atoms of solute replace the atoms of solvent, and interstitial solid solution, in which the atoms of solute occupy the gaps or interatomic spaces in the host material. So there are several factors that determine the degree to which solute atoms dissolves in solvent, and also whether a substitutional solution, solid solution will form, or an interstitial solid solution will form. So first factor is atomic size factor, and if the difference in the radii is less than 15%, then a substitutional solid solution will form. And if this difference is more, then generally an interstitial solid solution is formed. The crystal structure of both metals must be same. Then electronegativity. The more electropositive one element and the more electronegative the other, the greater is the likelihood that they will form an intermetallic compound instead of a substitutional solid solution. And finally, valency. A metal will have more of a tendency to dissolve another metal of higher valency than one of the lower valency. So an example of solution is copper and nickel, and in between these two there is a substitutional solid solution. So those are the values of atomic radii for copper and nickel, 0.128 and 0.125, and the difference between their atomic radii are less than 15%, and hence substitutional solid solution is formed. Their crystal structure is same, which is FCC. Electronegativities are 1.9 and 1.8, and valences are +1 for copper and +2 for nickel. Interstitial solid solutions. Impurity atoms fill the voids or interstices among host atoms, and this is depending upon atomic packing factor or atomic diameter. So maximum allowable concentration in case of interstitial solid solution is less than 10%. And this is due to the fact that interstitials introduce a huge lattice strength, and hence their concentration is very low. For example, carbon in iron. When carbon is added to iron, then maximum concentration is 2%. The atomic radii of carbon and iron are 0.07 nanometer and 0.124 nanometer. So this difference is greater than 15%. So now the point effects in ceramics. So in ceramics, there is primarily metallic bonding or ionic bonding. So that's why there is anion and cation. Okay. So the small spheres here represent cation and big spheres represent anion. And if there is an absence or excess of anions or cations, then there will be a net charge on the uh, on the crystal structure. Okay, so there are two defects associated with ceramics: Frankel defect and Schottky defect. So Frankel defect is depicted here in this region, where uh, a cation vacancy and a cation interstitial pair occurs. So what this means is that a cation from this place, so let me use blue color, cation from this place is missing, but there is an extra cation here at that place. Okay, so it might be thought of as being formed by cation leaving its normal position and moving into an interstitial site. So there is no charge due to Frankel defect because the cation maintains the same positive charge as an interstitial. Then next type of defect is Schottky defect. And in this defect, there is a cation vacancy anion vacancy pair. Okay, so there is a pair of vacancy. So as you can see here, uh, uh, anion is missing and a cation is missing from those. So there is a vacancy pair, and this is known as Schottky defect. So this defect might be thought of as being created by removing one cation and one anion from the interior of the crystal and then placing them both at an external surface. Since both cations and anion have the same charge, and since for every anion vacancy there exists a cation vacancy, the charge neutrality of the crystal is maintained. Okay, so one cation and one anion pair will be missing in Schottky defect. Okay, so in the next video we will see linear defects.